Welcome to a new episode of Hallmark Heartbeats, a podcast all about Hallmark movies. I am Camille.
I'm Brittany.
And today we are so honored to interview a Hallmark actress, Jordana Largy. She co-starred most recently in Hallmark movie Spring Fling, Hallmark movie called Don't Go Breaking My Heart, starring Italia Ricci and Ryan Pavey. Thank you so much for joining us, Jordana. How are you today?
Hi, thank you for having me.
I am so happy to see you because like I told you already, I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
Done several Hallmark movies already, so this is an honor. So for our listeners, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, definitely. My name is Jordana Largy. I am an actor. I'm based in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada right now. And I've been acting for just over 10 years. I've done a bunch of Hallmarks, Canadian television, American television, feature films, just kind of.
Yeah. What kind of stuff have you done outside of Hallmark?
Some of my favorite shows, I got to be in the spinoff for Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, and I got to play a fairy. Incredibly exciting because they put me on wires. I got to fly. It was very cool.
Fun.
Yeah, that's one of my most favorites. I don't think I ever had more fun than being against a green screen and the wires just like jumping up and down and spinning. And
doesn't that hurt?
After 8 hours, it did hurt. But at the beginning, it was really fun. So yeah, it got some pressure on your hips and stuff, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I've heard that it hurts when they do the wire acts and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's hard on the body, but it's fun. Yeah.
So you've done several Hallmark movies, which we've mentioned. Which was your first project with Hallmark?
My first project was called A Bride for Christmas with Ariel Kebbel.
Ooh.
Okay.
That was a few years ago. I just played like her quirky, strange friend. Ariel played a woman who I can't remember totally, but I think she constantly got engaged and then ended it, couldn't commit. And then she finds the right guy who she can finally commit to and get married. Yeah.
I think I remember that one. Was that with Andrew Walker?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I know my Hallmark movies. All of the Christmas ones.
And we know you worked with the reigning Hallmark queen, Candace Cameron Bure, on If Only I Had a Christmas. One of our fans wanted to know what she's like. How was it working with her?
Candace is absolutely lovely. This was actually the second film I did with her. I got to do an Aurora Teagarden mystery with her as well. And she's just a very, very kind-hearted person. Incredibly hardworking. She's always has another project going. She's not just an actor, but she's a businesswoman as well. So her time on set, when she's having downtime, she doesn't really have downtime. She's always working on another project. But she is very kind, always wants to make sure that everyone, the cast and the crew, are taken care of, that everyone's comfortable, having a good time. She's just a really nice woman to work with.
I love that.
Yeah.
I watched her growing up as in Full House. So.
Yeah. When we were filming, we were on the streets outside, and people would yell at her, DJ, over here.
Almost 30 years later, she's still famous for that role.
Exactly. People love that character.
Yeah.
Well, they just did Fuller House.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know if it's from just a recent Netflix redo or if it's because of the 80s one, but yeah. I watched from the beginning with Michelle. Your most recent movie is Don't Go Breaking My Heart. And we both said it's actually our favorite movie of 2021. Not even lying to you. The lessons and everything is awesome. And the boot camp is all about mending broken hearts and stuff. So have you ever had a breakup that you feel you might have needed Miranda's help with?
Probably I could have used her help. I'm a very private person, so I think it takes a lot of courage to go through all that stuff with people you don't really know. But luckily in my last breakup, I had really close friends who, you know, would do things like they showed up at my door at 8 a.m. and said, okay, we're going to Whistler, you know, the ski mountain. We're getting out for the day. We're driving up. You're not thinking about the breakup or anything sad. We're just going to distract you. So I think it's important to take your mind off things when you're going through something like that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
a lot of Miranda's activities had to do with physical activities. I would assume that, you know, like physical stuff would help, like skiing. Which of the activities was your favorite to do?
I think it was a consensus with the whole cast was the obstacle course.
Oh yeah, that was like fun. Did you guys actually do that, or were there stunt doubles?
No, we did it all, and we had to wrangle Ryan in a little bit because he was doing more of the course than the movie at the time. When we first started doing it, we're like, we get to do, like, they only had certain areas that we were filming, and we're like, we can do all of it, right? Like, we can go over there and we get to do this, and yeah, so we just wanted to play. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that did look fun. Which of Miranda's lessons do you think was most important?
Well, I think it wasn't necessarily like one of her weeks scheduled. I think the most important, if you remember in the film, when Kim is upset about her boyfriend getting engaged and Miranda's talking to her and brings up anger. Like, I think anger is an important emotion to go through, but when you hold on to it, it's so very true that it's only hurting you.
I most related to that conversation out of all of them.
Yeah, we talked at length about that scene actually, because we both also agreed that was just really powerful.
Yeah.
I told Brittany this, and actually this is the first time I bring it up on this podcast, but I was raped as a child. I'm a sex abuse victim survivor. And for years I held on to that anger, and I held on to that hate, and I held on to like, why me? Why, you know, this? And people told me all the time, you need to forgive because you're holding on to anger and you're not like, you're hurting yourself and things like that. But I couldn't understand why forgive when the person didn't say I'm sorry.
Right.
And it took years, it took like 20 years for me to realize, no, I'm hurting myself by holding on to this anger. I need to let go. And so when the whole conversation with Miranda and Kim, I totally got, but not as a breakup, but as a PTSD survivor, rape survivor kind of thing. It's just let it go.
Oh, I'm so sorry you went through that, but it's good to hear that you can, you know that letting go of that anger inside you only helps you, right?
Yeah, and especially the part where she was like, when she said, I'm gonna get emotional. Where she said, being angry hurts you and doesn't hurt the person. Like, they've moved on, they're happy, they don't, you know, they're stealing your joy. You're letting them steal your joy.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know, it's still not fair that you're hurting and they're not, or whatever you went through. But yeah, it is only going to help to heal you too.
Yeah, I mean,
let go.
The focus, you know, the movie was breakup, but really a lot of it were more life lessons. You know, not just breakups, but things you go through every day in different situations. Holding on to anger and holding on to those emotions.
Yeah, definitely.
And letting fear control you as well, because there was a whole thing where it was just like, you need to not focus on fear, and also just moving on through the positives of it and stuff like that, which was another powerful statement. Lesson that was learned.
So you already talked about Ryan kind of messing around on the obstacle course, but how was it like working with Ryan and Talia? Do you have any little behind the scenes tidbits you can give to us?
It was just a lot of fun, like just really relaxed, and just we got to play, like, because we went through all these things together, like we were filmed in an actual escape room, and you know, we did the actual obstacle course, and we had a salsa teacher come in to teach us to dance, and it was a joke because Matthew and I were in the background for the salsa scene. We weren't really featured, but we only knew one move, so we just kept doing that move over and over and over again. So then we started counting how many times we could get that move in before they called cut. So we made it to 13. 13 was our top number of times. But yeah, everyone just had a great time. You know, Ryan's super talented as an artist as well. He makes jewelry. So in his downtime, he'd be showing us, you know, some cool thing that he just made from like anything. He does metalwork. So he could take like an old spoon and make it into a necklace and things like that. And yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of his work and I'm like, man, if I only had the money.
But they're beautiful, beautiful stones and things. And yeah.
Yeah.
I hear a lot that Hallmark is just, everyone has so much fun, and that everyone becomes a family, and we always hear that it's so much fun. And I love that. I love that kind of on-set mentality, that it's just fun. So I like that a lot.
If you can go to work and have fun, there's really nothing better, right?
Yeah, I mean, like that's what most people aspire to do, is to do what they love as a job. You know, if you can do what you love and get paid for it, awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my personal other favorite movie that you did was 2017's Christmas Homecoming. I love that movie. And you played a military widow. Your character's husband was out, I believe, in Iraq or something, and you know, was killed in action and stuff. Have you ever been in the military? I mean, do you have family in the military?
I don't have family in the military. No, I have family in law enforcement. Not quite the same, but I do have a good close family friend, and her son is in the military. But before we shot that, I did do a lot of research. You know, the internet is crazy, wonderful. You can just go in and you have women on YouTube telling their stories about what it's like to be a military wife. And so it's nice to have that kind of resource and try and learn a little bit about it, because being Canadian, we don't have a big military. So it's a different, it's just different. And the first time I kind of realized the difference was when I was young, and I went to Hawaii, and I was in Waikiki, and there was a lot of people there getting ready to ship out.
Yes.
And there's just such a great pride in what you are able to do for your country. Yes. And it's not the same in Canada. So it was really, really fascinating to learn about that and learn, it's what these women go through. Being military wives is hard, but they're also doing a great service for their country as well. So that's really
one thing I loved about the movie also, that your character, and I believe Julie Benz's character touched upon, is the community that the military wives, the military widows, kind of bring around. They're very supportive of each other, kind of thing. Like my dad was in the army. My dad retired after 20 years, but we did touch. I remember my mom had a close circle of military wives as friends, you know, as a support system while my dad was out or whatever. So I love that fact that there was that community circle thing that was touched upon heavily in the movie as well.
Yeah, I think that's a very important part of it, and how you know, my character was able to get through everything she went to was with the support that she had around her. Yeah.
But you actually answered my next question, which was, did you get to talk to any military wives or anything like that?
Not in person, but I did do some research just to try and understand that lifestyle a bit more.
What kind of roles that you haven't already done would you like to do for Hallmark? Is there anything that you're just really wanting to jump into?
Well, I want to get to have a romance. I want to play the lead. There's a few that have come out. They're like the big Hallmarks. I think that'd be really cool, where they get to go to another country.
Yes.
Italian, they did one in Rome, and I think they just had one in England or Ireland. And I think
Ireland is coming out this week.
Yeah, just so much fun to get to have all this fun that we already have and get to do it in a different country. I think that'd be really neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
What so many of the co-stars to finally take lead roles. Like, oh my God, what is taking everyone's so like, but I understand Hallmark has like their favorites on who their lead actors are, but especially like a lot of the ongoing supporting actors, I'm like, okay, what's their turn? They've been working for years, be the supporting best friend or whatever, or the sister. Let them have their time to shine. You know?
It's always a bridesmaid, but one day.
One day. We hope so, because we were in love with your character. We both I think said once, because we talk a little bit before we start recording our podcast, and we both were like, we loved her so much. She was so cute and fun, and we would love you to be a main character as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was for like my fandom came before this movie, but I was like, oh, I know her. And the thing about it is, one thing I love about you and the characters that you've played is that you've played quiet, strong females, if that makes sense, where like you dealt with some hard times. Your character has dealt with hard times, like being a widow, being a breakup, etc. But you're still pushing through, but you're not like, I'm gonna push through. You're just like dealing with it quietly and like normal people, because I feel like that's how a lot of people do it, is just pushing through and living life and struggling sometimes, but also being strong at the end of it.
Oh, definitely. And that's how I kind of approach these roles is what would I do in this situation? What would I do if this happened to me? And trying to figure it out.
Yeah, very relatable. Do you have any
I was going to say, do you have anything coming out that we should watch out for anytime soon? Doesn't have to be Hallmark, could be any.
I don't have any Hallmarks coming out right now, but I do have this one that I just finished filming. It's going to be on Disney Plus at Halloween. It's called Under Wraps. So it's a Halloween family movie that they actually did years ago that they've remade. So it's one of the original Disney Channel movies that they're remaking for Disney Plus.
Oh, fun. I love Disney Channel original movies. So
that sounds a fun one. It's a bunch of kids and they find a mummy. Yeah. And so they're running around town dealing with this mummy. So it's pretty cute.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us?
I think so. You guys are just so lovely. This was fun.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm so grateful that you were down for talking to us, and
what's your all-time favorite Hallmark? Do you have one?
Oh God.
Is that too hard of a question?
Christmas movie is probably Christmas at Bramble House with Autumn Reeser.
Okay.
I love Autumn. I love a lot of her movies, and that whatever that comes on as a rerun or during countdown to Christmas or whatever, I want to watch it all the time. I like Don't Go Breaking My Heart. So far, that's the best one of 2021. I also like Secret Ingredient, which stars Eric Cahill, that came out last year. That's been coming on a couple of times. You're Baking Me Crazy is another one that stars what's his name? Jen Lilly. No, not Jen. Was it Jen Lilly? No, I don't think it was Jen Lilly. It was somebody else. Natalie Hall. That one was starring Natalie Hall. I have so many, but yeah, I'm excited to see this one coming out with As Luck Would Have It, as well as Don't Right in Front of Me. Right in Front of Me holds more special. I'm more excited about that one because Janelle Parrish had made a post saying that that was the first Hallmark movie where both lead actors were of Asian descent. And that's like, as an Asian American person who wants to see more representation of people who look like me on TV, on screen or whatever, that it would be, feel like that's something that's important too.
So important. And I'm really glad that Hallmark is showing that now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And stuff. What about you, Britt?
I would say, well, I mean, my favorite is Montana Sky, which was adapted from one of my favorite Nora Roberts books. And it plays my personal favorite Hallmark actress, which is
Ashley Williams.
Oh my gosh, I just totally blanked. She's my favorite and I blanked on her name. Thank you for knowing my favorite is Ashley Williams. I have a deep love for Ashley Williams. So yeah, that's it. It's Montana Sky.
What's your favorite? If you had one. Whether you did it or not.
Oh, that's tough. I have to say, because I really love Dylan Neal, I love the Gourmet Detective series because I like something a little bit darker. I like a mystery. And I think those are really fun ones.
We're Dawson's Creek fans. So so Dylan Neal will always be Doug winner for us.
Oh, Doug.
But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Jordana. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
No, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Jordana, for joining us today for the podcast. It's been an honor to talk to you. You can listen to the podcast on Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, pretty much anywhere that you can listen to a podcast. Just look us up at Hallmark Heartbeats. We have a YouTube channel which downloads all of the videos, audio of all of the podcasts. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Hallmark Heartbeats is the Instagram handle. Hallmark Heart B1 is the Twitter handle. Facebook is Hallmark Heartbeats Podcast. buymeacoffee.com/HmarkHeartbeats. You can go buy us a coffee if you want to listen to the podcast. Also, I'm gonna try and add more stuff on there. Anyway, all of this stuff is on our link tree in our bio. We are reviewing As Luck Would Have It, which stars Jordana Garcia Swisher. And that will be next Saturday. Next Thursday is gonna be a release of our interview with Tedra Rogers, who played Zoe Livingston in One Perfect Wedding. She played Ben's little sister. And then after that, we will be reviewing it right in front of me. And then after that, Brittany is no longer going to be joining the podcast. So right in front of me, this will be her last podcast. But I'll still be doing the podcast, and I will be hopefully finding circulation of co-hosts. So anyway, that's about it, you guys. So thank you for listening. I'm Camille.
I'm Brittany.
Okay, bye.
Bye.